everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of The Designer's Den. I have a very special guest today, Brittney Hay, and I am super excited to welcome them on my show to talk about the overflowing plate of project that they're working on. Um,
Uh,
I know that's a feeling that's near and dear to many of us. of
it's a good feeling. It's not an it's an what did I do again?
Oh, how
But
many
in a
things have
good
I
way. It's a
signed
good
up
positive
for?
way.
Okay, I've got to get to work. Yeah. I mean,
Yep.
it is a little overwhelming, but also I imagine it's
Mhm.
really fulfilling to be
Mhm.
asked to work on so many things and
Yep.
to have your brain helpfully provide so many amazing ideas.
Yeah.
Uh,
And then you throw a 4-year-old in the mix too, because why not?
yeah, I'm trying that right now, and
It's fun, huh? Toddler is great.
it's a
It,
it's it's a new one for me. Yeah, it's not bad when the toddler naps, right?
Yes. You get most of my work is done, and she's napping right now. Like the prep to come and talk to you today was basically bribery. We walked around the block like 3 times, so I tired her out. So then she would go down
Mm-hmm.
for a nap, and she wouldn't be coming down and asking me 1.5 million questions. Although, kids have this really weird like kid radar where suddenly, and I don't know why this is, but like every time I'm doing something at this computer and I'm sitting or I'm having a meeting or I'm working, I'm suddenly the most interesting human being because otherwise she could care less about me.
Right. No,
Yeah.
that is exactly right. Um, and it's got to be too with the camera, right? Anytime I turn on
Yep.
the camera, all of a sudden he's like, "Can I put my face in that? Do I get to see? Am I on camera now too? This camera is on. It must be time for me." And I'm like,
I know. Well, especially like with 2020 being, we normally go. So we live in Colorado and we have family who lives in
mhm,
Michigan, and normally, we go home at least twice a year, once around our daughter's birthday and once at Christmas time. Well, 2020 happened, and
and you didn't do
uh,
any of that.
yeah, we didn't do any of that. So I think especially for her right now, she's 4, she'll be 5 this year. A lot of the camera, she thinks, oh, I get to talk to somebody who is not me, because we have been stuck with each other for six
Hmm.
months, and we are the only human beings that we really interface with. So, I love her, but she's 4 and she's not an adult. And when my husband came home for Christmas, I was like, oh, another adult human being I can talk to. Oh my God, thank you.
Yeah, so I imagine then with wanting to interact with more humans, it's been
Yeah.
kind of comforting to take on all these projects, especially
Mhm.
as I understand it, you're doing a lot of project management this year, and that is kind
Ah,
of like talking to adults, but also like talking to children. You got that
herding cats.
mix. Yeah, herding cats. Herding
Yeah.
cats is precisely right. So I know
So, yeah.
the big project that you have going on this year is the
Mhm.
um oh god, the monster one. You just
Not,
told me the
not,
name of it.
an, it's not another Monster Quest anthology. That's the working title, but I don't know. I kind of like it. We may keep it. I'm not sure.
I like that though. Not it's just
Uh,
this isn't another monster quest, is it?
yeah.
Well, yes and no.
Yeah. So oddly enough, and I don't know why, maybe January is the time around the year in which I say, screw it, I'm doing the big thing. Because this time around last year we were doing Wisdom Under Fire, which was the Australian charity thing that I
Mm-hmm.
just said, hey, screw it, we're doing that too. Which it was a lot of fun, and it came together incredibly fast. Like I
Oh
think it was
yeah.
like a month turnaround. We were just like boom, boom, boom. It's knocking it out of the park. But this time I was like, you know what? I was funny though, because I was putting this all together and I looked at the calendar. I'm like, this is the same time I did Wisdom Under Fire last year. So what is it about January? But yeah, no, Not Another Monster Quest is basically it takes a lot of inspiration from Uncaged,
Mm-hmm.
which I think was the first really big anthology project on the Guild that showed that, you
To
know,
flip those tropes on its head, yeah.
yeah, it's like this is not so, and the anthologies can
And just
work. Like
anthology, yeah.
there's a market for this as well. So, um, And so it's basically, and it also comes from a series of tweets that kind of happened at the end of last year, where we once again people were having the monsters are coded evil, therefore they must die, or the only way to gain XP is to raid the kobold's lair and loot everything and kill its family and you know just make a mess of things. But I don't think a lot of people stop to realize, like, the kobold. You ever wonder why Kobold has so many traps in its home? Maybe it's because the pesky adventurers keep
That's
coming and
true.
breaking in. Like, so I kind of was like, I'm gonna do a thing. And then I got Cam, which Daylight Publishing, Cameron, I don't remember what his last name is. Uh,
That's okay.
he's my cohort, my co-pilot in this. Because I was like, I want to do this, and he's like, I want to do this. I said we should do it together. He's like, okay, what do you need from me? I'm like, you know. So
Support,
he's been helping.
love.
I need love, support, a Discord server, spreadsheets. And so basically it's just taking all those, adventure tropes that we commonly associate with
Hmm.
monsters and flipping them on their heads and basically being like, okay, but what if the goblin wasn't the bad guy? What if
The
what if
goblin
the
is the friendly neighborhood apothecary that the village can't go without.
yeah, well, and that's the thing, like it always bothered me, I guess, in the back of my head, it was always bothering me that, like, especially Volo's Guide to Monsters, which opened up all these player races. You could play as a kobold, you could play as a goblin, you could play as
Hmm. There's a
uh,
hobgoblin. You could play as
hobgoblin, bug folk, bug
bug
folk, bugbear.
bugbear.
Sorry, that's another project. I'm animal folk. I'm working on something else. That was that coming in and doing things. And it just always bothered me because they were like, you are the special one that is not evil and a good person. And I'm like, that's not really how it
That's
works.
not quite the compliment that you think it is. It's
No,
like
that's
it's just like a guy saying you're not like all the other girls. Oh,
yeah.
okay. All right,
Yeah,
goodbye.
or you're yeah, like they think that's a compliment when it's like, no.
No.
Or being like, the other thing, I think the other mechanism in Volos is that uh you basically are a different humanoid species, a good humanoid species, but you have been trapped in your soul has been trapped in the body of a evil goblin, and now you are, it's actual mechanics in Volos. Look it up, it's in there. And
I'm
I
now
was just
looking it
like
up.
that. You're like, I'm going to look it up now.
I
I
absolutely believe you, but I need to see this wording myself so that
I'm
I can
pretty
marvel
sure
at it.
I'm pretty sure it's in there. I mean, it may
Yeah.
have been taken out because they I will say, D&D has a Wizards of the Coast have a very long. I'm now looking it up too because I'm like, I have to double check because I remember seeing this. It may have
So
been.
why a monstrous character? I'm just gonna read the three subheadings to start:
Oh
rare or
no.
mundane, outcast or ambassador, friends or enemies. So we're already not off to a great start.
No, yeah,
Yeah.
it's not, it doesn't characterize them
So the
in a.
yeah, the monstrous origins table is cringy. First one,
Yep.
you're a spy sent to undermine your enemies from within.
Mm-mm.
Why?
You're yeah, there's the victim of a curse or polymorph spell. That's the one I was thinking of,
Raised
that you're
by humans, elves, dwarves, other civilized races, and you've adopted
been
their
adopted.
culture.
Mm.
You became religious. That's always a good one, right?
Yeah, yeah, divine insight.
Yeah.
You're a sworn enemy. You're a sworn enemy as an ally. Wait, so that basically is it. The sixth one is the enemy is my friend.
Hmm. And
An evil
then
entity corrupted your people's society. So the evil people corrupted other evil people, and you're still evil. But again, the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
eight is the old amnesia trope. You don't
Hmm.
remember being evil, so you've been around these
You
good people,
guess
so
you're
I guess you're
not
good.
evil.
I don't know, but
Yeah.
nobody else believes that.
Yeah. So that was, and I will say I think it was last week or earlier this week. Time is an illusion right now.
It's February
Um
tomorrow.
it is it can't be February tomorrow. I mean, on the one hand, that's good because that means my husband's coming home soon, but on the other hand, it's February.
How did this get here?
Um you guys,
I'm
oh
getting ready.
gosh,
See, I've
it's
got my pink sweater. I'm ready.
I know you are very thematically appropriate. I am wearing my classic
I
retro gaming
I was
shirt.
wearing my Baldwin Games hoodie and my pajama pants
Right.
until like 20 minutes ago.
I put pants on to go take my daughter for a walk today, so I feel that.
I'm still wearing my pajama
Um,
pants.
hey, you know what? I'm good. I'm wearing leggings that have pockets that actually I can fit things in.
Nice.
I will send you the link. These are amazing pants. I love them.
I got some leggings
But
that tuck in
but
at the
yeah, no,
back.
I know they're actual like side of the thigh pockets.
Yeah.
So,
Uh
but no, but yeah, no, tangent. No, going back to the thing, it's that, and yeah, a week ago, I think it was that the new Unearthed Arcana came out, and
the
it
Gothic
said
lineages.
the Gothic lineages, but it had that very beautiful sidebar that was basically like, hey, I mean, again, they have a very long way to go to fix everything that needs to be fixed. But the fact that they, put that in there that basically said, hey, we realize that, coding monsters in the such and such way is bad, coding races in the such and such way is bad. We're working on it for future stuff, and it won't be in there for future stuff.
So that was the placed in
Like
the
the
Unearthed Arcana there, but the
sidebar.
design note changes to racial
Yeah.
traits. So it's just kind of like a follow up to the stuff in Tasha's, um,
Yeah.
to kind of let everyone know that like Wizards of the Coast is proceeding with
With
fixing a lot of these problematic
mhm,
issues. Yeah,
yeah.
I liked
They,
that
again,
change.
they have a lot of grounds to go. These are incredibly small baby steps.
I mean, well, their
But
design cycle is like 2 years long,
yeah.
so
Yeah, so it's like you have to be also mindful of that, is like it's minimum of 18 months.
they're
I
not
mean, you know that
they're
work.
not able to churn out a whole project in 2 months from conception to publish
Yeah, yeah, they're
yet.
not like the Ends Guild, which is like on like the hyper trained
They're on top
Designville.
of these current trends. They're 2 years
Yes.
behind. So,
Yep.
um,
I mean, again, that's no excuse because they
no,
should have never had been. Yeah, yeah, but it's you
it's
you
just
have to
it's just
you
a
have to give the brownie
consideration.
points. Yeah, you have to give the brownie points where you can, because you have to go, this is good, because if they see the community reacting positively to this stuff, they'll do more of that stuff.
Yeah, but
You know.
if you take everything that's good and you're like it's good,
Hmm.
but it's not good
Hmm.
enough, then they're just gonna give up. So it is
Yep.
important to, of course, acknowledge that like these steps should have been taken a long time ago, but uh,
Yep.
later is better than never.
Yeah. So going back to None Other Monster Quest, it was basically looking at the stuff from Volos,
Hmm.
looking at the trend that Wizard is starting to go, that they should have been going with a long time ago. A bunch of random tweet threads that I don't know, I went on a tangent on in like November. And then people were like, you need to make a thing about this. And I'm like,
Okay.
so then we basically spent the end of last year taking feedback from a bunch of people who wanted to be involved in the project. And then it was Google Forms, lots of Google Forms. And we basically figured out like what people wanted to see, like what they wanted to write about, what races they wanted to see the perception of change. And
Hmm.
some of it was like really interesting. Like, obviously you had your kobolds, your goblins, your bugbears, but then you had things like illithids. Like they wanted a good coded illithid, and I was like, you know what? Why not?
Yeah, no,
Good
that'll
coded.
go over well. I mean, I mean, I live with a very nice illithid. Alan counts as an illithid sometimes.
I mean, it's like we had things like people wanted to see. I'm gonna pull. Anyway. I can tell you what people want to see because I have the Google form. I have the power.
Have the power. Google
I
Forms are
have the
so
I have the
essential to any
Oh
big
gosh.
group project.
Oh
Like,
yeah, like if you are, I will tell you, big group project, you need to keep organized
spreadsheets.
and
And you know what Google Forms
spreadsheets,
feed directly into? Spreadsheets.
spreadsheets.
They do
And
that.
then you need spreadsheets on top of those spreadsheets for your spreadsheets.
I have spreadsheets
Uh,
to manage my spreadsheets.
I have spreadsheets to manage spreadsheets too. It's a process. Like you, I mean, I would say like if anybody is trying to make a like a big project or even a project that has, I would say, more than like 5 people on it,
Mm-hmm.
that they need to have, they need to be organized. They need to basically, you know, for Non the Monster Quest, we had the original form. We have a form for all the pertinent information for when things get published, so then we can make sure that people are targeted and tagged correctly, like with their publishing name, you know, the email address, their pronouns. We have a diversity form. We have an editor form. We have an artist form. Um,
And then you get a sheet somewhere with timelines and stuff that's constantly changing.
Yep, we have the project guidelines. But yeah, uh, yeah, my pitch for not another question, the sign up form was: have you ever wondered why kobolds build traps in their homes? Do you ever consider that it's maybe to keep those pesky adventurers from stealing their stuff and more? How about the humble bugbear merchant just trying to make a living? Why is it always assumed he's up to no good? And what about those
Oh.
minotaurs? All they want to do is come to town for a loaf of bread, just like any other hungry traveler. If you want to help change the way that monstrous races are viewed in fantasy games, then this is the project for you.
And poor
Um,
lizard folk. Let's not even get started on those guys.
yeah, we actually, so we have a question. I think it's by summary. There you go. So yeah, we had, um, so like bugbears, kobolds, Medusa was on there, minotaurs, Yuan-Ti, gnolls, hags, orc, lizardfolk, harpies, giants, dragons, doppelgangers were on there,
So doppelgangers are a
beholders,
weird one
aboleths,
because they're not always bad.
oh,
Like, yeah,
lycanthropes,
yeah.
illithid, nothic.
Oh,
Um,
that's a good one.
so yeah, so we basically we took all this information that we had on our original sign up form, and then we kind of distilled it into 6 volumes, which will be being released throughout the year. And each volume will focus on, uh, excuse me, volume will focus on 3 different monstrous races.
Mm-hmm.
So volume 1, which is going to be coming out the soonest, I think it's end of May, beginning of June, is going to be goblins, kobolds, and bugbears. Oh my. Um, and so volume 2 is minotaurs, gnolls, and orcs.
Okay.
Volume 3 is lizard folk, merfolk, and grung.
Ooh, the
Volume
amphibious
4,
volume.
yeah, volume 4 is hags, gorgons, and harpies. That represent the ladies. Uh, Volume 5 is lycanthrope, vampire, and illithid, and then volume 6 is dragons, and giant folk.
Okay, that is quite
So,
the lineup, though. So
yep.
I
So some classics and some that maybe people weren't expecting, but hopefully we'll enjoy seeing in there.
mm-hmm.
Um,
Well, I'm excited to see them. Um, and that's just one of the projects
yeah,
that you're
yeah,
working on.
yeah. I mean, that one I'm writing minimally for, and it's more just herding cats. But
Yeah.
everybody has been amazing and lovely and wonderful already, and we've had a lot of great collaboration already. I mean, like one of the adventures being written is for a kobold who is part of a dungeon making contest, and the adventurers are going to test out his dungeon traps for the contest to see how well it does.
That's so
So
wholesome. I like it.
so
Um,
very wholesome, like just sweet things. and we'll have some NPCs in there. We'll have what do I say here? Math. So we'll have 4 adventures in each volume.
Some
8
NPC
and
write-ups.
yeah, we'll have 8 NPCs in each, and then we'll have 16 encounters that you can basically just kind of plug and play into your campaigns. So a little bit for everybody.
Okay, yeah. Well,
So
those sound like pretty
they're going to be
substantial
hefty
books.
boys.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And so you've had some projects actually too that have just gotten released,
Yes.
like the Taroka project.
Yes. Oh my God, that was so much fun. Matthew. Oh God, Matthew Whitby.
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 Whitby. I'm so sorry, Matthew. I butchered your last name. Yeah. He contacted. I think that one was last September.
That sounds about right.
Contacted us because they were doing the Curse of Strahd revamped that was coming out in November. And that one was great because the project deadline was we were trying to hit for November. Obviously, it just released in February, but hey, it
It's
released
January
right
still. Hold on, calm down.
or January. Sorry. Oh God, my brain. No, it's January. It released in January. But we that was a lot of fun because it's basically taking the Taroka deck that you get with Curse of Strahd, or you can purchase with Curse of Strahd, and we took each of the Arcana suits, and we made NPCs to go with them. And they can act depending on if I don't know how much you know about tarot.
What
Um,
the?
fair bit, yeah. So there's again, and I apologize for people who know more about tarot than me. I'm just a tarot newbie, but I love tarot. So there's usually a card has 2 meanings. It's upside and it's downside
Mm-hmm.
meaning. So it's regular one or it's reversed. So just like that, we have a friends or a foes. So basically, what way you draw that card will determine whether or not they are a friend or a foe of the adventuring party.
Ooh.
As well as there's mechanics in there to make your own adventures out of, with I believe Matt said over 64,000 combinations, which is ridiculous. Like that's, I
I
mean,
mean,
and
well,
it's
when you
it,
take a whole deck of cards and you start trying
yeah.
to go through the combinations, like
Hmm.
the way that math works, yes, it
It's
adds
always
up
like
very fast.
it infinitely multiplies itself,
Yes.
from what I understand. So. But yeah, no,
Is it
that
a
one was a lot of
factorial?
fun. I think my favorite one that I did was the Enchantress because she has um a fortune telling pig named Henny, from which is inspired by any. I don't know if anybody knows the Black Cauldron from the 1980s.
Yes, a
So
underrated
yes,
yeah,
and
underrated movie.
basically the Enchantress's goal is to get Henny to safety. Um, with the keeper of the feathers, the were ravens in Barovia. So, um, but yeah, I loved making that was my favorite one because I was like, I don't know what I could, because usually enchantresses are kind of made to be like very like seductive, and I was like, I don't know if I really want to go with that. That's a bit of a, and I don't know. I'm not a big fan of that trope. So I mean, like she's very charming and charismatic because she's a sorceress. So
Mm-hmm.
but like it's not like her main goal. Her main goal is Henny and caring for Henny.
Okay.
So
Obviously not factorial because I did need to do the math. So uh,
yeah,
the number of
you're
actual
like,
combinations from 54 cards, if you're just doing like two, is just under 2.6 million. But obviously
oh
with when
no.
you're drawing it out with Taroka, you have
I think there's less in the deck because you have the major arcana from the Taroka, and then you have, I think.
well, there's 54 cards in the Taroka deck, but you
Mhm.
also don't just draw two.
No, you don't. You draw, and there's mechanics for it. I can't. I have to think. I can't think of them off the top of my head, but like I think it's like I think you draw 3 cards. I think it's a 3 card draw for setting up your encounter or your adventure plot. And then depending on how you draw them
Yeah.
will be how things kind of.
I totally have the deck and the instructions on it somewhere.
I have it
And
too, and it has gone missing. I rearranged my house last year, and it was in my bag, and I don't know what happened to it. And I want to find it again because it was a really nice deck. And
yeah, well, I mean, you can always buy it again if you have the money. It is still
no,
available. They
I
have a
know.
really cool version of it that came out
Or
in the Beetle and Grimm.
no, I wanted that one so bad because Curse of Strahd is my favorite hardcover.
I bet what you really wanted from the Beetle and Grimm, though, are the finger puppets.
Oh my god, those you have any idea how much my kid would have loved those finger puppets? We
Yes.
have the Beatles and I have the Beetle and Grimm Yeti, baby Yeti plushie who's over there. And then we have the my husband got me the Descent into oh god, what is it called?
Avernus.
The Avernus, thank you. Descend into Avernus one for my birthday when that came out, I think a year or two ago.
That is true. The quality of that box
I
is like
know.
I got to
It's
play through that
beautiful.
one, and just like the Infernal Contract alone was
Hmm.
just like worth it. The box was worth it. I mean, not that I bought it, my friend bought it, and I played
But
with
you're
it.
just
But
like you're like looking at it and you're just like quality.
well, I have actually, we all got to hold it because it was before in the
Yeah.
before,
In the yes, it was in the before, yes.
and so like I picked it up and I'm like, oh, this is heavy.
Yeah,
Holy
like it's
crap,
got
this is
some weight to
heavy.
it.
It does. I have a very charming photo of me somewhere on my Facebook of me holding it like a
You're like, I'm so excited.
overexcited toddler.
But you're like, but I'm sure like in the background your arms are shaking because it is a hefty boy.
Actually, I do believe
Um
that was take the picture quick.
yeah, like take it quick, I can't hold it. No, and as a graphic designer, like I like all those amazing like player supplements. I'm like, oh my god, my graphic designer brain is like,
Mhm.
these are so
And
good. And
yeah, and I know the Curse of Strahd had maps by Devin Rue.
I
Um,
know it was like everything, all the people I wanted to support, but I didn't have the money at the time.
yeah.
I did treat myself though when Eyes Unclouded more did exceedingly more. I mean, not that we never thought it was not going to do good, but like when Eyes Unclouded did so good,
It was
I
a
ended up
runaway success.
yeah, I was like I'm still waiting. Like the fact that I will be able, it's in the mail because COVID and holiday and all that, but it's on my way to me. The fact that I will be able to actually hold a legitimate like in nice printed copy of something that I wrote with my name in it is like I can't even with that. Like it's so exciting.
It's definitely surreal. I didn't write any of the D&D books, but my name is in some of them.
Yeah, but it is cool to have your name in something like that. Like it's just cool.
From playtesting, yeah, like my name is in
Yeah.
some of the older ones, the
Hmm.
older fifth edition ones. That sounds weird to say. Um,
Well,
and
what we're
then
in like season 11 of like AL, so yeah,
yeah, well,
that's what 11 years.
still just on 10, and no,
Oh,
not
we're on
11
10,
years.
10.
2015, so just 6 years in.
How really? How do you wait? How do you have 11? Wait, 10 seasons, but only 5 years?
Well, because there were multiple seasons in a year.
Oh,
Yeah.
I see. See, I only started playing I started
Exactly,
playing
Alan.
AL in Alan's like
Yes,
correction.
Alan Tucker's chiming in. 2 seasons, some years. Yes, exactly.
Um,
Also, hello, Pit Stop Head. I saw your greeting.
but yeah, no, I treated myself to the Rhyme of the Frost Maiden, Beatles and Grimm from the Eyes
Mm.
Unclouded because I was like, okay, I can actually afford that. and not have to explain to my husband a $500 bill.
My problem with them is, you know, I can somewhat justify the price when there's not a
Yeah.
pandemic on, but I
Mhm,
can't
mhm.
justify the amount of space that it takes up in my condo.
Well, and also like as much as I love getting them, we are also in we can't have anybody over to play them with us. So it's like you're just sitting there like drooling over this beautiful thing and like not able to,
Well,
do anything
I
with
do know some people, like John Connor Self, believe you know
it.
Connor or know of
Mhm.
Connor, who's
I know
been
of Connor, yes.
yeah, who's been using them to run online games and doing all the props and everything, and then
Oh yeah,
sending
doing like a webcam kind of
hmm
thing where like,
and then
that's a good
sending
idea.
some trinkets to his players who play it, like mailing it to them in the mail, which um I'm still mailing things to people in the mail as well when they play in
Mhm.
my games. So um yeah,
Nice.
I'm gonna have to start mailing out my minis so that they have some use. Exactly.
You're like, I just need to be able to utilize these.
Yeah, I've been mailing out the water deep dragon coins.
Oh, I love those. They're
Yeah,
so pretty.
yeah. They are, and they're so like they're small, but like they're hefty.
Yeah, well, like the Into Avernus,
The
the
soul
seal, the soul coin.
coin.
It's like the size of a grapefruit, and it weighs as much as a
Well,
grapefruit.
so the one from the original D&D Live is
Yeah,
only like as
yeah,
big as
but
my cheek, but then the
it's like
Beetling Grim one is like a tea saucer.
yeah. I actually have it. I actually can stare at it like it's stirred away. It's sitting on my bookcase.
Oh, you have someone's soul sitting on your bookcase?
Yeah, I don't know. Like I don't know who's in there, you know. But yeah,
Mm,
so
I'm sure they're fine. It's fine. It's a better place
it's
than
fine.
it's a
It's fine.
better option than many places.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, they got a nice view stuff. Maybe.
good
Hmm.
company. Good
Yeah.
company.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um,
Hmm.
yeah. So, uh, you know, getting back on off these tangents.
Yeah. Sorry, we
No,
keep tangent. This is what happens with conversations with me. Is we will tangent.
it's not just you. It's me. It's
Oh
us.
no.
So prior to all of these amazing projects that you
Hmm.
did
Hmm.
this year and this last year, you've worked
Hmm.
on quite a bit of stuff now. What was your first DM's Guild project? I was
My
trying to go
first.
back and look at it, and I'm like, these are all good.
So actually, wait, I'm gonna just double check this to make sure I have it right because I have them on my because I finally did a card co website last year to
Ooh.
keep things in track. So I have them in order on my card co.
Oh, well,
Um,
that would have been
mainly
easy.
for well, I had to go back over like a year and a half of design and be like, because I had like a vague idea of the list,
Mm-hmm.
but then it was like, oh, what came before, like who, like, because some of them were like released like really close to each other, so I wasn't sure like did what came first, the chicken or the egg, I don't know.
and
I haven't.
and it's really hard too because sometimes you're like, okay, I definitely got this project and was working on it first, but then you're like, but wait, no, I
But
was
then this
working
came
on
out
that, and
before
then I
that.
got three things after that, and those were published before I finished the first one. So like,
Yep. Like timeline is weird because so the first project that I ever got asked to be on before I published anything was Eat the Rich, Volume 1.
yes,
The infamous Eat the Rich.
yes, so that was the first one where
That
I
I
heard your
got.
name,
Yeah,
and
that. But
that was a little publicity there.
yeah, that was weird. That was weird because I got contacted over the summer, or I didn't get contacted. I
You submitted a form, yeah, a Google
submitted the form.
form.
I did the form. I filled the form out. I got selected, which I was super excited about. And this was like right when like Uncaged hadn't even released all of its volumes
Hmm
yet. Like this was back in like 2019. Was it 2019?
I think it
Okay,
was
now I have to go.
2019. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Because yeah, so I got contacted for that. Oh, you can see puppy. There's a puppy up there.
Yeah.
That's Loki. Um, yeah, he's got his bed right up there. I was like, what is that noise? And I just see him just like, what are you doing? So I got contacted for that. Like, want to say it was early summer, late spring 2019.
Mm-hmm.
But that didn't come out until November. So
Right.
my actual first ever published thing on DM's Guild was actually the Patron of Liberty,
Mm-hmm.
which is a warlock subclass based off of Captain America.
You got a couple of
And
subclasses out
yep,
first.
I got Patron of Liberty, I got the Circle of Elemental Druid, and the Night Librarian Fighter. Those are the three.
And
And then it was Animal Sidekicks came out 2 weeks before Eat the Rich, and then Eat the Rich came out on Black Friday on 2019. And the only reason I remember that is because it was Black Friday.
yes, anti-capitalist.
Yep, exactly. It was a very strategic marketing ploy, which, Kat and Alicia were amazing with all that stuff. And I learned so much on that project that like I still take with me, it's been, almost 2 years now, and I take all that from them, from RP Davis, who was my first editor, and he's a gem. He's sweet. He's very sweet. He's a good guy. He was my first ever editor, and he was so nice to me. Like, so because my all my subclasses before that had peer feedback. It wasn't actual editing, you know. So I didn't do the editing thing. I just kind of but yeah, no, the first ever one was Patron of Liberty, and it is a warlock subclass um, based off of the um,
Captain America.
based off of Captain America. And I did have to put it in there because I was very much, it's, it came off of a, like, tongue in cheek. Again, this is kind of how most of my projects start, and I don't know why, but like a silly, like, Twitter thread. And I was like, I'm going to do this, you know,
Let me.
and then, it has an optional bonus feature that I still love to this day called Freedom's Ass, because, I had to,
Captain
because
America. That's America's ass.
that's America's ass.
Whoops, moving me around. That
So,
wasn't what I wanted.
yep. But it's got beautiful artwork by Tom Fumo at Penflower Inc. You should seriously. He's does amazing artwork.
Pop up that cover image real quick and then shrink it down because, of course, I'm hiding half of it. Just because
Ah,
this eagle,
yeah,
I
I
actually
love.
remember seeing this come up because my mother's a huge fan of eagles, and let me just hide my face,
Uh-huh.
not yours. And I
It's
was like,
okay.
oh my god, it's a fighting eagle. And then I was kind of torn on whether or not I thought it was Captain America's shield or whether it
Hmm.
was supposed to be Captain Canada because the
Hmm.
little things on the edges of the stars kind of
They
look like
do
maple
look like.
leaves,
Yeah.
but it was an
Well, it's like you have
eagle.
to get. Yeah, you have to get. Well, he's technically an Aarakocra, but it's an Aarakocra eagle. So like it was very much like giving you those Captain America vibes without like, being like, this is
It's
the
Captain
shield.
it's Captain
Yeah,
North
like
America, forgetting
like
about Mexico
yeah. Yeah, Captain America forgetting about Mexico. And then like the other one in there
and the
is,
rest of Central America.
yep, sorry.
Sorry.
Um but yeah, no, and then the other art piece of art that's in the interior is a Goliath, who has a lot of like feathering and stuff that's kind of meant to invoke, and then as well as like has like a little bit of like eagle tattoo design on her head.
Mhm.
Um, but then also her shield also invokes the shield
The
that Captain America.
feathers.
Well,
Yeah.
but also like the Captain America shield he had in, I think it was Infinity
Oh,
Wars.
the old school one.
Is
Yeah.
Yeah, like the more triangular one that's supposed to kind of invoke his first shield that he had before he got the circular one. So like Tom did an amazing job with that. A lot of really good subtle imagery that was like, this is what you think it is, but we can't go there because copyright, you know. But yeah, no, that was a lot of fun. I actually haven't looked at. I'm actually looking at it now because I haven't looked at it in a while, and I'm just like, would I do this again? Like that's the thing about design, and something I learned while I was in art school because I have a
Mm-hmm.
graphic design degree. Um, is a good thing about like you will. It sounds kind of harsh, but the thing that your professors always say to you is that you will look back at your artwork in 2 to 3 years and probably hate that, and it's a good thing because that means that you've grown as an artist and a creator and a designer. So that's a good thing. If there's something, because you grow in your design.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sure that I could go back and look at that, and there would be things that I would tweak or change or
And that's true for pretty much any creative,
yeah.
because I know like the first things that I've written, I'm like, uh, you know,
Hmm.
no, thank you, though.
Or there's like, oh, there's some problematic stuff that I didn't realize was, problematic and needs to be fixed. But because I've grown as a person, I've learned that those things are not allowed in design and they shouldn't be in design for very good reasons. So,
Pretty much.
yep.
And I also learned that you probably don't want to write a mystery as your very first adventure.
Oh,
Mysteries
ooh,
are
yeah.
hard.
Mysteries are hard. I guess, yeah, I guess part of the house could be considered a mystery technically because it's the house. You have to figure out why it's doing the things it's doing.
Yeah. That
Maybe
one
a little
that
bit.
one was that one was actually very well done though. So Heart of the House
Yep.
was another collaborative project
Yep.
with Kat Evans and VJ Harris, and this was actually one that I talked with VJ about on the
Oh,
show a
really?
couple of weeks ago.
Nice. I
Yeah,
love I love VJ. It was so nice working with them.
yeah, VJ
Such
was
a
wonderful. We talked
I
about
get to work. I'm working with him. Brain is not working. This is mom brain, like thinking like I have like half of my consciousness is like listening upstairs to see if I can hear my kid waking up. But the other part is like focused on this. Like when you're a parent, you never are 100 unless the kid is out of the house. You are not 100. You are never 100% focused on what you're doing. Um, but yeah, no, I'm working. I get to work with them again on playing possum. He's
mhm,
going to be doing the parentage parentages
parentages. Yeah, it's
parentage.
parentages.
That sounds really wrong.
It
Like it
does.
doesn't feel it does parentage parent
Yeah, it's parentages because
it's
it's just a
parentage. It's because
like
parentage.
lineages.
Oh, oh, that's English. English is weird sometimes. It makes some weird plural words. But yeah, no, I'm working with him again on the he's doing the parentages for playing possum. So then going to be it will be coherent with an elf in the
An
north
orc
had a
had a little,
baby.
yeah, that
Yeah,
was
had a little baby. So you can have like a half possum, half orc like parentage. So I'm excited to do that because that's
it's
gonna be
weird
fun.
thinking about the mechanics of how that would work, but
Yeah. But at the same time, like you have a half orc and you have half elf. So why? And I remember reading there was a D&D adventure, or AL adventure. It's called Murder at the Stop.
mhm,
I don't know if you know that one,
I
but
do.
it has a no, it's Murder at the Stop, and it has a half orc, half dwarf NPC.
Yes. Murder at the Stop was a CCC by
Yep.
Robert Alanis, the dear departed Robert Alanis, and that one was absolutely great. Yes,
I loved that was a good murder mystery one, like a good who done it.
it really
I love that.
was,
And
and
it's so simple to like set up and to play. And I've never played it the same way once. I've never DM'd it the same way once.
I don't think I've ever DM'd it the same way twice either. I know I've probably
Yeah,
run it at
twice.
least a dozen times.
Yeah, it's
Um,
it's one of my favorite, like very like if I need to grab a module quick. One, because I know it so well.
mhm.
But two, because it's just fun.
That one and I guess
Companion to it. There's a part two technically, isn't there?
well, yes,
Isn't there a
there's
part two technically? Oh, it's Fool's Gold, Fool's Company, Fool something like that, where you go into the bugbear den and it's like you
A
have to
Fool
ride a
and His
roller coaster.
Gold. Yeah.
Fool is Gold. Yeah, that's what it is.
But no, I was thinking, let's see, DDX 3. Um Bane of the Tradeways, the season
Mm-hmm.
3 um expeditions, they were still called then, adventure that was in that same area. I would generally
Mm-hmm.
run those two for a group, Bane of the Tradeways, because it has most excellent um chase scene.
Let's see what you know my other
That
favorite
one was
one that
also Roberts, so it makes sense they go together.
that does make sense. The other one that I liked too was um what is it called? It's the one that came out with Xanthars, the AL module.
Oh,
Um,
with Xanathars?
you remember it's the AL introductory module. You get it's really good. I don't want to. Okay, if anybody is listening and they've never played this module, I'm gonna explain to Jenny what it is, so then I can, because it has to be plot points. So
Yeah.
for the next 30 seconds, mute the stream. Um, so basically, so that this one is basically
Underworld speculation. Yes, 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 yes.
you get miniaturized,
Yes.
and you are in the goldfish bowl, and that is a great, like, it always plays as at the end, especially as some the minute and I always build up like the speculation of like the algae people, the pygmy, the or the algae pygmy people, and the whenever they I'm like, oh, they have old adventuring gear on that looks really similar to you guys. By the end, you get to the end of that tunnel, and you pop out into that goldfish bowl. It's like a horror murder mystery, like weird. It's a really really good module, and like for people who haven't played it, like watching their reaction when they realize that they've been miniaturized,
Mm-hmm.
and two, they're in Xanathar's fish's bowl, is like the best. It's like the best, like, mic drop of a lot of adventures.
Yeah. Now that we've gotten into it, I pull it up. Uh, so the premise is you wake up in a pebbly cave with no doors and
Yep,
no windows.
yep. And there's a waterfall that you have to eventually go. Like, the only exit is a waterfall. And the best part is like
Somebody watched Finding Nemo.
somebody did watch Finding Nemo. The best part is like you'll have like an adventurer go over to the waterfall and like stick their head in, and the minute they realize that the water keeps going is like the best part, and they go, "Oh shoot, how are we gonna get out of here?" And then you have like the little magic glow ball that is basically a trapped entity that Xanthar trapped in this fishbowl a long time ago, and like, okay, again, spoilers for the whole thing again. Mute this if you don't want to know. The best part, besides obviously the rest of what I just said, is the realization that one, all of these adventurers, these algae people, were adventurers that glowy ball thing has transformed into pygmy algae people, and that he basically is just trying to get a revenge on Xanathar by making a pact with them,
Mm-hmm.
and basically like, you will do my bidding or you're going to become one of these guys.
I mean, yeah. I mean that actually is
It's very horror, like it would be a good like Halloween one to run. It's not your
yeah.
traditional horror, but it's like all the elements are like
It's like
horror
horror
elements.
combined with Honey I Shrunk the Kids.
Yeah. It's love, and then you're in a fishbowl, and you have to use underwater fighting mechanics, which nobody knows about, and gets really annoyed that your arrow stops at its minimum distance, even if you have sharpshooter. Like, oh boy, there's a lot of people that get mad at that one. They're like, "What do you mean I have disadvantage on attack rolls?"
Well, as you see here, underwater combat says when making a melee weapon attack, if you don't have swimming speed, you have disadvantage unless it's a dagger, javelin, short sword, spear, or trident. And if it's ranged, it misses beyond the normal
Oh,
range.
yep.
And they're always like, no, that's not how it works. Oh, buddy, I just verbatim read it to you. That's how it
Yeah,
works.
and then the people, and then you have the monks that go, it doesn't affect these, and we're like, nope, it doesn't affect these. You're right. Like
Those, those do,
monks and
those, I mean,
those function, and then monks
you've
and
been in a swimming
spellcasters.
pool, you know you can still punch a person in a swimming pool just as well.
Yup,
It's
mechanics are sound.
a little more resistance, but you got it.
Yup, yup, yup.
It feels like less because everything feels weightless, but not really.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, you still have some resistance, but you still can put enough force behind a punch underwater to, you know. Trust me, I've been kicked enough in swimming
Yeah,
pools to
that's what
know
I
that
was gonna
it's
say. If
not.
you've ever been kicked in a pool, you know that you've got
Yeah,
plenty.
yeah.
It makes my face hurt thinking about it. Oh, the number of times
Really,
I
go
got
lay down.
kicked by one of my siblings. Not on purpose.
Memories.
But yeah.
Sorry, we tangented again completely.
No, we're good.
No, it's valid information. No, seriously, if you have not played, oh god, what is Underworld Speculation? You should. It's really fun.
Yes.
Also, Murder at the Stop.
Yeah. You know, honestly, if you want to just go pick up
Or
the
just
entire
list of
just pick
recommendations.
up the entire bibliography of all the 5e stuff that Robert Allen
Yeah,
has did. I would highly
yeah, he's
recommend
done a
that.
lot of stuff.
Also,
Really good stuff.
I think that I think the money now goes to his wife, so that's nice.
Yep. Oh, totally.
Yeah.
He did some really good stuff. It's a
God, he was
shame.
just such a nice guy. I miss him.
I never met him, but I never heard a bad word against him. So you know.
Yeah, I was very fortunate to meet him through the regional coordinators program. Um, I mean, it was, well, I don't want to say he was one of my favorite people because they were all my favorite people.
Like I
There were
cannot
only
pick a
so many
favorite
of us in
person.
the U.S., so we were all pretty good friends.
That's
Um,
nice.
but yeah, so we don't have a lot of time left. So one thing
Sorry.
that I like to ask people, no, you're good. One thing that I like to ask people, so if you could do any project, what would the next project that no, you've got all the time in the world, you got all the resources you want, you can work with whoever you want. What would you want to
Oh,
do?
what would I want to do?
I know, I put you on the spot.
I mean, is it, I don't know. Like, I mean, I honestly, I don't know. Is it corny if I say that I would really love to work on something for Beetle and Grimm because they just put
No.
out a lot of really good stuff? I don't really.
And I think
Oh,
that's a genuinely amazing goal. Like
yeah,
my goal is I want to work with Beetle and Graham and put out something completely unique. That is
yeah, yeah.
how would
Well,
anyone say
like
that's a bad goal?
Beetle and Grimm, hire me. No, I'm just kidding.
Kidding, but not kidding.
I have a portfolio. No,
It's true.
no. I
It's on
mean,
your card.
it's on my card. It's literally that my entire card is just my DM scale portfolio. That's it. That's all it is. This is nothing else. I have to expand it eventually because I'm doing more design stuff, more graphic design stuff. But um, no, I mean I've got a lot of really cool things I got to do last year, and you know, I mean I don't know, like it's like there's like a lot of like projects on my like I'm sure you have the list. You have the Google Doc that has like all the things that you
Oh
want
yeah.
to make. Um I mean like I'm like I've got to work with a lot of really cool people so far. I got to be part of Paolo Pixel's little uh uh what was it called? The pin one where she made the cards that went with the item cards. I can't think of what it's called, and it's bothering me. And that's just my mom brain
Yeah.
being
I
like,
know what you're talking about, but I don't know what it's called
my
either.
mom brain is failing me. My mom brain is failing me right
No,
now.
that's okay.
But yeah, no, but yeah, I got to do that, which was amazing. Um, I got to, I've got to work with a lot of really cool people. I would love, Nature's Defense Kickstarter. That was what it was called. Sorry, I had to look it up because my brain was not going to let me go until I looked that up. Nature's
No,
Defense.
that's fine.
I got to design some. Hannah Rose worked on that as well.
Mm-hmm.
And oh god, who's the other person that worked on it? Uh,
People.
but yeah, people worked on it. I'm really bad with names. I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
Um, but yeah, no, that was a lot of fun. I enjoyed that. But yeah, no, I would love to work on a project with Beetle and Grimm. I think that'd be amazing
Mm-hmm.
to write something for them or do something for them. Um, I think obviously, maybe, I there's just so many people that I want to work with. I'm part of the Jasper's Game Day ambassadors, which is amazing and so much fun. So I'm
And
excited
they've got a
to
lot of stuff
check
coming
program.
up too, so that's very exciting.
They do. I think I will be DMing for them for GaryCon. So if you
Mm.
guys want to play at a table with me, I think okay.
That's in
I've
March
submitted
25th through 27th.
yes. I have
I
I
have it
have
written
submitted
down
a
over
lot of
here.
you have it already written down. I love that.
I didn't just
I
know that,
I
don't worry.
I was like, wow, that was really good information. No, I have a lot of forms that I've signed up to do a bunch of stuff this year. So I think that was the one that I said I was going to run my Eyes Unclouded adventure for. So,
Okay, yeah, no, that would be good.
um,
That would be an excellent place to do that.
um, yep, which was a lot of fun. So I get to do that this year. I'll be helping with Jasper's Game Day, which is actually a week
Mm-hmm.
this year.
At the beginning of
So
May.
yep, that is at the beginning of May. I'm hoping if I can get my pitch in, because that's one thing I haven't. I have to do. This is reminded me about it in the weirdest way possible. I'm hoping that I can write an adventure for Jasper's Game Day, and we can put it on DM's Guild, and all the proceeds for that adventure can go to um, Jasper's Game Day. So
Yeah.
excited to do that.
I think
Hopefully,
Jasper's Game
maybe
Week
finger
this year is May
is
3rd through 8th because it's directly
yes.
following our May Days charity event.
Yes, it is. It is going to be. There's a lot of I can't I can't say, but there's going to be
There's
a
gonna
lot
be
of
a
really
lot of
fun. There's
stuff.
going to
I
be a
know.
lot of
I
fun
know. I'm
stuff.
so excited too.
I'm like being under. I'm never usually under any sort of like big NDA, so I can usually talk about some stuff. But it's like I'm sitting here on like like being like it's weird being like but like being excited about being able to do that and supporting an organization who does them and being
Does
able to
so
work
much
with
good work. Yeah.
Fenway. Yeah, I mean like they do so much for it, and I
Finway
definitely
the
was.
Finway the adult DM
I
now.
know she turned 18 this week. It
I'm
was her
so proud of
birthday.
her.
I know. Now she's gonna have to change her Twitter tag.
No, no.
Well, no, technically she's still a teen because she's only 18.
Yeah.
I mean, legal adult, still a teenager. But yeah, no, I, like being able to work with all those amazing people over there, and like all the ambassadors, getting to meet them and work and collab with them has been really fun so far. And just, I count myself lucky that, um, I mean, and for me, I do have to say this, I am incredibly privileged, especially, in 2020 and this year, that we have enough money that we thankfully were not horribly affected by COVID.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I know that wasn't the thing for a lot of people. Um, but the reason I design, well, I love it. I love making adventures. Love making subclasses. I love, I saw Adam, oh God, what's his last name?
Hancock?
Uh, yes, Adam Hancock. He just put up his card website on Twitter today, and he says, "I design because I create things. I design because I create things I want to see. Like you create the stuff that you want to play," and I 100% agree with that. But I mean, the other big reason is that my husband is military. He has been in the military since we have been dating, which has been over a decade. Um, and it's been a rough couple of years. I mean, we are financially stable, and I'm incredibly thankful for that because that allows me to pursue these passions, and be able to stay at home with our daughter and all these kinds of things. But the reason I design is that, if there ever is the eventuality one day where he kind of just wants to get out, and is like, I'm done. This is enough. Which I totally 100% respect because he's been put through the meat grinder these last couple of years. I want to be able to create a safety net for us in order for him to be able to make that decision a little bit more easier. So yes, I do love it. It doesn't feel like work, but then there's always that underlying reason of I create because I want to make sure that I can help my husband if there comes a time when we have to make that tough call and say no, it's too much. So sorry, I didn't mean to get all I'm go tearing up over here. I
Oh
didn't mean
no,
to get
that's good.
emotional
I
about
think
it.
I think that's a very valid reason, and I think
Mhm.
that's Jesus. Um, obviously, naturally, right at the end, we get uh people there in the chat who are spam,
Yeah,
but I think it's a very noble reason
yeah,
and to do all of that, and so you know I hope that it continues to go well for you,
yeah,
and that
yeah.
when it
It's
gets to that, you are
yeah,
successful. You're already successful, but I hope that
yeah.
continues for you, and I can't wait to see
Mm,
what else you put out in the
yeah,
future. Super
yeah.
excited for that.
Thank you for having me. Enjoyed tangenting this.
Yes, that is
So
that
many tangents, all the tangents.
that is kind of like the subtopic for my show.
I feel like every time I go on to one of these, I'm like, I'm not gonna tangent. I'm not gonna tangent. We're gonna be on
No, this
topic. We're
is the
gonna be
place
like,
to tangent.
and I was
You note
like,
that I
I was
didn't
like,
send you an itinerary.
yeah, I was like, you're like, what do you want to talk about? I'm like, oh no, like, don't put this in my corner. We will go on a ride, and
You give
I
me a
think
few
we certainly
sayings, and
have
I'll try
gone
to circle
around.
back to them, and it's all
Yeah,
gonna
and
be
we'll
good.
just like we'll like circle the wagons back around eventually. No,
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much for being on today. This has been so exciting,
I've
and
had a blast.
thank you to DeEmerald573, Marcelo. I believe that's you for the subscription. If you like the show, subscribe or just follow. We ain't all made out of money. I understand that. So
Yep.
next week, I actually have Adam Hancock on the show.
Oh my God, you have Adam. I love working with Adam. We got to work. I've worked on so many projects with Adam. He's so good.
So I'm super excited to talk to Adam, especially after all this hype from
Uh,
VJ
I
and
was
Brittney
hyping.
here.
We were hyping him, and we didn't even realize it.
I know. Well, we've been hyping for a couple of weeks now. Um, and then the rest of February going out, I have Casper Kirkterpelanius, Brendan
Ooh.
Lewis, and then I'm circling back around and having Connor Self on again to round out the month. I'll be announcing my March lineup very soon. Outside of that, we have so much going on. Winter Fantasy is this week. So
Wait, it's this week
yeah,
already?
this week it is February now.
Oh, thank you
Uh,
for reminding me that I'm a backup DM. I
February
have not.
3rd through
I,
7th.
I have not signed up to DM games because I wasn't sure what my early February was looking kind of iffy. So, but I did because Jasper's is going to be at that one as well. I did say I would be a backup DM if they needed a backup DM. So
Perfect.
I'm on call that weekend, I guess you would say.
Yeah. Well, looking forward to that. Looking forward to hanging out with everyone. It is the big Baldwin Games homecoming for the year. We're gonna do a lot of social stuff in the server, and by that I mean
Ooh.
we're gonna hang out on video and just chat. Try to do something like that every night when possible. And just kind of hope to replicate some of that feel of being in blisteringly cold Fort Wayne at this time of year. So, um,
Oh, how do I miss conventions?
yeah. So if you're coming to that, looking forward. If you didn't know about it, there's still time to sign up. So head over to baldwingames.com and then pick up those tickets, and you can come play
So
with Brittany and myself and the other couple.
maybe me. I'm not. I'm a. If you need me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if we get enough people signed up, then we need her. So,
Okay, so there you go. There you go. You sign up so I can come to him. No.
well, either way, we do have like a couple dozen amazing DMs, so
Mhm.
excited for that. And then if you're not available this weekend, we have our virtual D&D weekend for February the 19th through the 21st, and we'll have a lot of stuff going on there as well. Games, and more games, which is all we ever wanted. But with that, that is going to be it for this episode of The Designer's Den. Until next time, thanks everyone.
Bye.
Bye.